Now, I'd like us to look at some of the where the focus will be. It will be on three different things, because the ties between Kenya and the United Kingdom are manifested in various sectors. Now, Kenya enjoys diplomatic relations through the establishment of diplomatic offices in Nairobi and London. Now, the relations have been exemplified by the UK support of the UN Resolution 2036 in New York, giving the African Union mission to Somalia, that is AMISOM, extra troops, including the support for Kenya Defence Forces, KDF, to join AMISOM. Now, trade and investment, with the UK being the largest European foreign investor in Kenya. Currently, there are about 100 British investment companies based in Kenya, valued at more than £2 billion. Significant British investors include Barclays Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and GlaxoSmithKline, and that is Actors, formerly CDC Capital Partners, and De La Rue and Unilever. When it comes to tourism, and United Kingdom is the largest source market for Kenya's tourism, with the number of UK tourists coming to Kenya said to overtake that of the US citizens by 18% between January to April 2017. So what you're seeing on your screen now is some of the Kenya-UK relations, what I've explained to you: foreign policy, trade and investment, tourism, and military support. So these are just some of the things that we believe the British Prime Minister Theresa May will talk about when she meets President Uhuru Kenyatta. So in our studio this morning, we are having this discussion with Dr. Kenneth Kambona, who's an international development consultant, and Professor George Wajakoya, who's a law scholar, and he's also a British trained lawyer. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And Theresa May's visit comes 30 years after the last visit that was made by the Prime Minister. So what are we, of course, we've mentioned some of the things that we're likely to focus on. The two leaders are likely to focus on, that is President Uhuru Kenyatta and the UK President. Are we right on that? I'll start with you, Professor Wajakoya.
First of all, thank you very much for hosting me for the first time. I don't even know your name, but I know
yes. I'm Brenda.
Yes, I would like to lay a foundation on who is Theresa May. Theresa May, as we know, was born in 1956, 4 years older than me. Her father was a clergyman, was a vicar in the Anglican Church, and she grew up into a very powerful woman. She first was a councillor for Danford, and having served in various portfolios, she attempted to run she ran for Parliament, House of Commons, twice and lost. What's ironic about this powerful woman is that she went into a Labour safe seat and tried, and she became number 2. She again went to a Liberal Democrat safe seat, and she lost. And then she won she won as an MP for Mansfield on the 3rd attempt. And from that time, she exhibited her glorious articulation as a politician, which earned her 3 different portfolios under as a shadow cabinet under 3 former prime ministers, David Cameron involved. She also became the first chair of the Conservative Party, the first woman chair of the Conservative Party in Britain, and she rose in to become the longest-serving Home Secretary for almost 16 years in Britain, during which she took over from Cameron after Cameron had actually resigned. She is a woman who came up with this notion of one nation, one Britain, which was symbolic into removing the Brits from the EU. So she's credited for being a far right-wing woman who believed in Britishness, that the Brits or Britain belonged to the Brits and no any other thing.
Okay. And Dr. Kambona,
yes.
Theresa May is visiting Kenya. What are we likely to focus on? As much as we're talking about trade, security, what are we likely to focus on?
Yeah, and thanks again for that, because You've just said that it's 30 years since we had the last Prime Minister of Britain, and therefore that's a long time. Actually, that's a whole generation has grown, you know, over that period of time. And so when she comes this time around, I think trade, yes, that is trade and investment is key, and security. But I also think if you're going to, the aspect of globalization is a very important thing right now. She's not only coming here, she has gone to South Africa, she's gone to Nigeria. And that means that in globalization you cannot sit where you are and expect things to happen. So the most important thing is to strengthen a relationship, and you don't strengthen this by just, you know, doing things in your own turf. You must come, you must feel, you must talk to the Kenyans. Because this time around, it's not like it was those many, that's half a century or a century ago when the British came and then, you know, they had all these things to themselves. The investment was dictated by them. This time around, one of the key things is we sit together, we should sit together on a table, at a table, with our people, our local investors, our local technocrats, legal teams, and define what is the nature of our relationship going forward, which has been missing. I mean, why has all the British investments over these years almost collapsed? I can almost tell you, you know, Unilever has been going down. Buka used to control the agricultural sector, Buka International, that's been going down. You know the story of Mumias. You know the story of Barclays Bank, it has been dwindling. You know this. Because all these investments, unfortunately, were not pegged on a strong kind of relationship. They were more of extracting, well, not the word extracting, yes, in terms of production of agricultural goods, but more of what benefits Britain more than what benefits Kenya.
Okay.
So this, yeah.
Okay. Gentlemen, this is a...